Hi BookTube, Sarah here and welcome to my channel. Welcome to my video on my 2021 goals and challenges. I do love doing these videos every year. I should really start going back and watching the ones from years prior to see how well I did. That would be kind of fun, wouldn't it? Because it would probably be like a fail. So we all have big plans going into the next year, and these are just kind of mine. I've done a lot of thinking about my reading and what I want to accomplish in my reading in 2021. And with what 2020 was for everybody, there were some good things that happened in 2021, let's be honest. There were a lot more, things that were not as great. It started off for me even well before COVID hit, being a bad year. And it just went downhill from there, essentially. But I think, and I've been talking to my friends, that I think we're all in the same boat at this point, that 2021 is going to be the year that we slow down. You know what I mean? Slow down, really appreciate what's happening, really enjoy more life, and enjoy our reading more. At least for me, that's a big one. That is something that when I look back at what I read in 2020, I've read, as of filming this, 270 some odd books, which is, it's pretty amazing, right? But how many of them were super duper memorable? How many of them was I reading just to hit numbers? I really want to take a step back, take a breather, and enjoy my reading. And that's not to say that anything's going to change on this channel. Essentially, the biggest change you guys are going to see is that my weekly reads are probably going to go from 7 or 8 books down to 3 or 4 in a week, which is still pretty super good. You know what I mean? So that's my main thing, is that I want to slow down and really enjoy my reading. So I do have some notes that I made here of some of the goals and stuff that I want to get to, and things that I'd like to accomplish. So so I'm just going to kind of talk about them. So one of the things I really want to do, and I've talked about this before already at the end of November, is that I'm going to be making print books and ebooks my priority, less audio. Audio used to, for a while last year, like in 2020, almost for the full year, seemed to be my go-to. If I couldn't find it on audio, I got annoyed. And, well, how am I going to have time to finish 8 books in a week if I can't listen to it on audio? But then I was like flying through books, and again, back to the was I really enjoying them kind of an idea. I still do like an audiobook. I love having an audiobook on the go for when I'm back and forth to work, or if, I have a little bit of downtime here and I'm just sitting and knitting and there's nothing on TV, or, I'm not in the mood to watch BookTube or whatever, I can pop on an audiobook for half an hour, 45 minutes, and, and enjoy doing that while I'm sitting and knitting. I am very much, I've realized, an audiobook listener who, I know a lot of people, they really love them for when they're cleaning or when they're cooking or, stuff like that. I really cannot be doing anything else that's mentally, like, yes, driving is a mental act. Like, you've got to think about what you're doing while you're driving. But in a way, it's not, especially when you're driving like the same place every single day. It almost becomes muscle memory in a way. You still have to pay attention to the rules of the road, of course, and the other drivers and things. But to pop in an audiobook is no different than listening to music, in my opinion. So, but for me, I was spending a lot of time listening to them at work. And I do like type emails, and I have to do admin work and stuff like that. And I found a lot of the times I was rewinding or backing up the audiobook because I missed part of it. And that's just not enjoyable. You know what I mean? So I've cut out the audiobook listening at work, and it's been really nice because I've been listening to music again at work, which I hadn't done in a while. So that was really, really nice. I've missed listening to music, and like, what artists have new songs? I'm like, he has a new song out? Because I haven't been listening to music in months and months like at work. Used to be all that I listened to. So yeah, so that's the one thing. More print and ebooks and less audiobooks. They're not going to be, like, I think this year more than half of what I read was on audio, whereas next year I'm hoping it might be just a third of what I listen to might be on audio. Again, not giving up on audio at all. I just am lowering the amount that I'm going to be listening to. So along with that, I did cancel my Audible subscription. So unless I have the audiobook in my library on Audible currently, because I do have quite a backlog of books on Audible that I've already purchased, that even though I cancel my membership, I still have access to those books. So I will be listening to those first, and then and I will also be, of course, utilizing my library, and I do have Scribe still, or Scribd, or whatever you want to call it. I do have that as well. So my goal is I am not buying any audiobooks in 2021. Not one. I don't need to. My libraries are fantastic for audio. If I can't find it on audio, I don't listen to it on audio. I pick up the print or the ebook, whatever. It's fine. Going into the no buying thing, I am not making myself that... I'm not going to be that person. I'm not going to buy anything in 2021 because that's ludicrous. Because I guarantee you on the 1st of January, I'll probably be buying books. But I am trying to limit the amount that I'm buying. I will not be buying a lot more physical books unless they're used. Used is going to be my stipulation, that if I go to the bookstore and I find like Harlequins or something like that, I will buy those used. Or if I find just regular books that I want to read and I get them and I can get them used, I will buy them. But, you know, books can be expensive, and I think we all know that, right? But the exception for that is going to be pre-orders. The one thing I really want to do in 2021 are pre-orders. This goes back to a chat that I was fortunate enough to have with the lovely author Susan Wiggs that me, Brie, and Chloe did back in November. And one of the things that she said during that discussion with her, that interview, that really stuck with me is how important pre-orders are to authors. That it kind of shows, you know, those pre-sales before the book's even released. So yes, my one thing in 2021 is I'm going to be pre-ordering more. So yes, pre-orders tend to be more expensive because it's like that initial price, like price being of the book being released. But I want to support authors that I really like. And I think that's the way that I'm going to do it. And with that being said, one of the videos that's going to change next year, instead of doing my anticipated reads video, I'll still be doing my Harlequin anticipated reads videos because those are a bit different. But instead of doing my regular anticipated reads videos, what I'm going to be doing are my pre-order videos. So I might do one in December. Let me know if you guys want to see it. I will probably even put it up on New Year's Eve. But my January pre-orders. So that's what I'm going to do is the month prior, I'm going to share with you all the books that I have put on pre-order. Because if I put a book on pre-order that I am spending my money on that book, it's definitely a book that I am interested in checking out. And I think maybe you guys will as well. So in a way, it's like an anticipated reads, but I'm putting not a monetary value on it, but I'm putting my money where my mouth is, essentially. So, you know, there's not going to be it's not going to be like there's going to be 5 of them every month. Some months might only be 3, some might be 8. It all depends, right? But I am setting a budget for myself every month of how much I'm allowed to spend on pre-order books. So that will be, of course, my cap, and that's pretty much what I'm doing financially for that. Used books are a different ball game. I'm not going to go into a used bookstore and spend $100. Like, let's be real. If I go into a used bookstore, it's usually $20 or $30, and it's not that big a deal. But the pre-orders are definitely going to be capped at a certain amount of money. So that's my goal with that one. So my actual Goodreads goal. I know people talk about doing the Goodreads goal and how did you do on the Goodreads goal. So 3 years ago, 2018, I can't remember how many books I read in 2018. I think it was like around 200 or something. And then in 2019, I got over 300. And then this year, I should end up somewhere around 280 or 290. My goal actually for 2021 is going to be 150. That's it, 150 books, which I should legitimately not have a problem doing. Even slowing down my reading to really enjoy my reading more. My goal is 3 books a week, so roughly that works out to about 150. I just think 150 is a nice round number. If I end up finishing 250 books, great, fantastic. I'm not going to change that Goodreads goal. I'm going to leave it where it is, and just, you know, enjoy my reading. That's like my mantra for 2021. I have taken my time. Okay, so the last little bit of this video that I want to talk about is going through my TBR. Hi guys, this is Sarah from the future. I am editing this video that you guys are watching and realized I forgot to mention something very, very important. So I'm about to talk about my TBR and how it's going to be laid out and all those things. And I was reading off my notes and I realized that I had actually did those notes up about a week or two ago, and I had made a decision that I'd been kind of waffling back and forth on, and that was NetGalley. So I'm going to mention that I plan on reading like 5 books from that are coming out in whatever month it is. This will make more sense once you see that part of the video. But in regards to NetGalley, and in regards to the fact that 2021 is going to be the year of relaxing reading, I am actually staying off of NetGalley. And saying that, I am going to be reading what I have on there already. But for 2021, I am not requesting anything new on NetGalley. So I'm actually feeling good about that. NetGalley is a very dangerous place. You can, once you get on there and you start to get, publishers start to realize that, you're reviewing and things like that, you request stuff and they very easily can, say yes to you. And I have quite the backlist on there. So my goal is to work through the backlist for 2021, and see where I am at the end of next year, and then make a decision. Now, that's not saying that maybe if I still get emails from publishers, hey, are you interested in, reviewing this book, blah, blah, blah. And you have the ability to say yes or no to that. So I will take those as a first, as a case-by-case basis. But as for actually requesting on NetGalley, I will not be doing that in 2021. So when you watch my weekly review videos, or my weekly reads videos, there's no longer going to be the NetGalley portion of it. So anyway, back to my editing. Bye, guys. So this isn't my January TBR. I'm just going to go, if you guys have been watching me for a while, I break down my TBR by section of different areas that I want to focus on. So I thought I'd kind of walk through my TBR with you guys, or my template for my TBR every month, where I fill in books. And then of course next week will be my January TBR. So stay tuned for that. But so I just thought I'd kind of go through that and share with you guys what I'm going to be doing. So the first little section is going to be audiobooks. I'm going to pick 4 every month. If I get to all 4, great. If I don't, great. Don't care. That's pretty much this entire thing. If I get through these books, fantastic. If I don't get through them, that's fantastic too. So I'm going to go ahead and pick 4 audiobooks every month that I have to pick from, depending on my mood. And a lot of that's kind of what I'm doing, because even though I love creating a TBR, I will never not create a TBR, I don't think. I really want to have the ability to pick and choose what I'm feeling like reading next. So this is essentially, there's going to be, I think, about 25 books on my TBR every month, but they're essentially going to be, if I get through 10 of them or 20 of them, that's great. They're going to be more for me to be able to pick and choose from this group of books. Instead of having all of this and everything on here, it narrows it down just a little bit. NetGalley current. So I have a plethora of NetGalley books to read. So my goal is to get through, 4 or 5 for that current month, whatever the month is. And in this case, coming up, it'll be January. 5 books coming out in January that I have on NetGalley to read. I'm going to read them in January. Then I have a NetGalley backlist. My goal is to pick 5 of those and try and get through those 5 that all came out prior to that month that I'm doing it for. So to try and get through some of that backlog of NetGalley books. I am participating. One of my challenges this year that I'm going to be doing is the TBR Tackle again. I did it the tail end of last year. This is by the Nothing But Reading Challenges group on Goodreads. I will link it down below. I don't know if they have the list for 2021, the thread for 2021 put up yet. If they do, I'll link that. If not, I'll link you till the 2021, so you can kind of get an idea of what it is. And essentially all it is that you have to randomize your TBR, and you just pick the next X number of books when you randomize it. So I'm going for 5 of these every month. So to get back through, again, a bunch of the books on my TBR, that's how I'm going to do that. Series. So right for January, I've picked 4 books for this category. So 2 of them are for series that I am reading that I started at book number 1. So if I started the series at book number 1, I'm going to just read the next book in series. And I picked a couple series to do that for. The other one is the, what did I call that one? I can't remember, but I do have a thing for it on my spreadsheet. And it is series that I might have started at book 6. And I've read book 6 and book 4 and book 10. So I'm trying to start at the beginning and working my way through it that way and filling in the gaps, essentially. So I'm picking 2 books from that for January as well. And I don't know whether I'm going to stay with 2 and 2. Going forward, we shall see where my reading ends up, but for now, it's a good number. Of course, the Book Sisters Book Club. I'll be reading that book every month, whatever book it is that we happen to pick for the book club, and I'm super excited about that one. My one reread, I do want to reread a series next year. I want to start. I actually did the math, and it's going to take me 2.5 years to get through this series at 1 book a month, and that is The Crew of Hunters. So I restarted it in the fall, I think, with rereading The Phantom Evil. So I'm going to continue on starting in January, reading book 2, and then book 3 in February, and so on and so forth. So rereading back through the Crew of Hunters series, that's a personal challenge for me. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to it. And last but not least, I do want to work my way again through the Baby Stars Club. One of my viewers mentioned in comments, I think it was last week, when I read the Evil Twin book from Sweet Valley High, that they said that that's going to be like one of the next ones on their, their own nostalgic backlist reading, right after they said they finished the Baby Stars Club and Fear Street. Fear Street's another one I'd like to get to eventually, but there were 130 books in the Baby Stars Club series, plus I think like 15 specials, plus like 30 mysteries, some super mysteries, some other offshot books. So like overall, there has to be 100 and just shy of 200 books in the Baby Stars Club series. Reading one a month, it's going to take years to get through. So I'd like to get through at least 2 or 3 a month. They're relatively short, relatively easy. I can pretty much read one in a day. So my goal is to get through 2 or 3 of those every month. If I can read more, I'll read more. If I'm in the mood for one, I'll pick one up, because essentially that's what that's going to be. So yeah. So other than that, my other challenges, no big challenges this year, nothing to do with like a TBR jar, nothing at all like that. I just want to keep it simple this year. I am going to be participating, of course, in the Romance Readers Reading Group on Goodreads, their monthly challenge. I do it every month. I love doing them. They make me happy. And, I'm leaving it open for readathons as well, right? Like, if there's a readathon that pops up that I want to participate in, I can participate in it. I want to do the Dewey's 24-hour. I think that comes out in April. I always see people's vlogs too late and be like, oh, I really wanted to participate in that, and I never get around to it. And I know in March it's going to be March Mystery Madness, and I'm hoping Elizabeth at Lizzie Faye Loves Books does it again this year, and she asks me to co-host, because I did last year and it was so much fun. So what I might do in March is just pick all mystery books, like make sure my TBR is nothing but mystery books. That might be kind of fun, right? Mystery, thriller, romantic suspense, like all those things. So yeah, there's a lot of room in 2021 to really enjoy my reading more. I might not finish as many books as I have over the last few years, but I think it's going to be a more memorable reading year. And that's pretty much my end goal. So anyway, guys, that is all that I have for today. I do hope that you enjoyed it. Let me know, what are your goals in 2021 for your reading? Because I'd love to know. Let's start a chat in the comments. And until my next video, everybody, take care and happy reading. Thank you all so much for watching. Bye, guys.